Count Dooku, also known as Darth Tyrannus, has recently made his resurgence in the Tales of the Jedi TV show, allowing us fans of Count Dooku and his character to take a deeper dive and descend into his darkness and how Count Dooku fell to the dark side. One of the most intriguing points I would like to touch on today about the dark side is the iconic Sith Eyes that many dark side practitioners gain once they commit horrific acts. For example, Palpatine seems to have all his Sith Eyes whenever he is conducting anything related to the Sith, like alchemy, reading through ancient talismans. He even has Sith Eyes when he is christening Darth Vader as a new Dark Lord of the Sith. We also can see Darth Maul's Sith Eyes on full display essentially throughout his entire life, as Darth Maul grew up without a concept or notion of what love essentially was, and grew up loveless, very similar to Tom Riddle, aka Voldemort from the Harry Potter series. Voldemort and Maul are very similar, with Maul growing up essentially an orphan, with Sidious as his adoptive essential father figure. Maul underwent brutal training and as a result almost permanently and perpetually had his yellow Sith Eyes on display to the entire galaxy whenever he showed himself in those rare occasions. However, the character I would like to speak about today, Count Dooku, Darth Tyrannus, the second apprentice of Darth Sidious and the placeholder for his ultimate prize in the Chosen One, Anakin Skywalker, and why it seems that Dooku did not have yellow eyes in Star Wars. Is it because he's not a true Sith, or does he not give in to the dark side as much as other Sith Lords? All this information will be unveiled today as we scour the forbidden section of our archives and uncover truly why Count Dooku seems to lack the iconic yellow Sith Eyes. Before we proceed, if you are enjoying the Count Dooku / Tales of the Jedi / Sith lore we are producing on the channel daily, and the Star Wars content, our archives keep getting updated and due to our various researchers re-emerging on Coruscant for their planetary and galaxy-wide expeditions. Be sure to use the Force to crush that subscribe button, lacerate the like button, and hit the notification bell to be notified for any latest updates into our archives. Now, my friends, let us proceed. Dooku doesn't have his yellow eyes because of one prime reason. And before we jump into that, we have to understand the personality and goals of Count Dooku and what he thought the Clone Wars would end. Count Dooku believed that he was too valuable to be discarded, ultimately leading to his death with Anakin aboard the Invisible Hand. Palpatine played him, and Dooku truly believed that he was beyond manipulation, with this being his greatest fault. He believed that his tenure as a Jedi, and now a Dark Lord of the Sith, had opened his mind to spot any manipulation, even from the greatest manipulator in Palpatine that the galaxy had ever seen, from a mile away, and he could thwart it and counterattack it effortlessly and easily, like many other Sith had. However, Dooku underestimated everyone. He underestimated his master and believed that he could spot his manipulation. However, in the end, Palpatine outwitted Dooku. It is ultimately why, if you have not seen that video that I have posted, Dooku did not expose Palpatine in Revenge of the Sith, and why, in the end, Dooku chose to remain silent rather than expose his master when Anakin had his own blade raised at Dooku's throat. Dooku was a charismatic idealist and leader of the Separatist forces and the Confederacy of Independent Systems. He led them throughout the Clone Wars, 4 brutal years of war that engulfed the galaxy. You have to understand that Dooku was 79 to 83 during the time of the Clone Wars, ultimately dying in 19 BBY at the age of 83, a testament to his immense power, as many Jedi and Sith don't normally die at such absurd ages, especially humans in terms of Dooku. Dooku wanted to give the Separatists security in their decisions. The Separatists most likely well knew that Dooku was a Force user, a well-known former Jedi, and was very wise, even because of Force users. Dooku had experience in both ranges, and had trained under 2 of the greatest masters of both the light and the dark in all of history, being Grand Master Yoda and Darth Sidious, his own Sith Master. Ultimately, I believe that the reason Dooku does not have the malicious Sith eyes is due to his eyes reflect his belief. Believe it or not, Dooku was a fully fledged Sith Lord, having mastered the ways of the dark side to such an extent he was able to produce lethal force lightning that could incapacitate Anakin Skywalker for an extended period of time. Dooku was also able to outduel Obi-Wan Kenobi, Mace Windu, twice, and Anakin Skywalker, although he was eventually killed by the latter after he believed that Anakin was inferior to him. Dooku's saber skills were truly beyond any in the entire galaxy, besides Yoda and Mace Windu, and some could even possibly and potentially say Anakin and Sidious, although many think Sidious's saber skills are only due to his force speed and augmentation. He is one of the most proficient duelists in Star Wars history, definitely be counted among the top 10, possibly even the top 5. However, his reason for joining the Sith Order was not a malicious and vengeful one, like Palpatine's was, or many other Sith, like Tenebrae or Marco Ragnos. The reason he joined Darth Sidious was because he believed the Jedi were becoming corrupt, adhering too much to the politics of the galaxy, and he believed they were losing their way, adhering more to the politics of the galaxy and the Senate, as he stated in Tales of the Jedi. How can the Jedi continue to evolve if we continue to say and take everything the Senate says as law? He believed the Jedi were losing their way, becoming too involved with politics and understanding the Force, and being guided by it, lacking their connection to the Force. Dooku was also heavily manipulated by Sidious little by little, chiseling away at his mental defenses until the breaking point was being shown was Qui-Gon's death, as we see in Tales of the Jedi. Dooku's final steps into darkness was Qui-Gon's death. Once he heard of it, he immediately went to the location that we would later see him present the Death Star plans to Sidious in Attack of the Clones. He went to this location on Coruscant, pursued by Jedi Master Yaddle. His final steps into the darkness and dancing into it was the death of Jedi Master Yaddle, who he decapitated with his lightsaber, cementing himself as Sidious's new apprentice. This turned him to the darkness and solidified his belief in a corrupt republic. Dooku did not have the typical Sith mindset either, because he repeatedly gave Obi-Wan hints at Sidious's plan early on in Geonosis, primarily when Obi-Wan was locked up. Another reason why Dooku did not have the traditional Sith yellow eyes was due to the fact he did not implement the dark side and employ its usage as much as Sidious, Maul, or Vader. They had the yellow Sith eyes that have become a staple in the Star Wars universe due to the fact they utilize the dark side every day, with Maul and Vader literally using it to pump through their veins and keep them going, with Sidious possibly being its most masterful and powerful practitioner ever besides the Force entities. Dooku did not practice it at all. While Dooku certainly was still a tremendous force on the battlefield, Dooku did not give in to the dark side like Palpatine did. He still had a concept for things and notions like love, caring, and passion. How he did not, unlike Sidious, reduce the dark side. He diminished its use, only employing it in fights such as the one with Grandmaster Yoda and Obi-Wan and Anakin and Mace Windu throughout the Clone Wars. Other than that, he just became the Senator and Count Dooku, as we know and love. Anyway, this is just my personal perspective. Many others might have different reasonings for why they believe Dooku might have a different opinion, or possibly was unique. Dooku, in my opinion, only was a Sith because he believed that the Jedi had become corrupt and lost their way, and that the Sith had to take over. That is, in my opinion, the only reason that Dooku joined the Sith in the first place, because the Jedi were becoming corrupt political adherents who did not follow the will of the Force anymore, and just adhered to everything the Senate said, taking it as absolute law. Well, my friends, what did you think of this video? Soon I will be uploading a lore compilation on Emperor Vitiate, so be sure to stick around for that. Goodbye, my friends, and I'll see you in a galaxy far, far away.